Yeah, I mean, this is a map that is definitely a little bit more unique than the other King of the Hill maps, and I do think we might see a bigger focus on heroes like Widow, or certainly Genji, who doesn't always show up in King of the Hill, might have a better case to make here, especially with just all the rooftops that you can take advantage of. A map that really emphasizes good use of verticality.
Yeah, so it looks like so far we've got kind of mirrors on both sides. Reunited is running Reaper, this unfixed. Morte will be on Mercy, Cruz on Lucio, Too Easy on Zarya, Valutaja on McCree, and Winghaven on Winston. So pretty standard King of the Hill lineup in a one-hero limit tournament. And nothing really surprising out of them. And it looks like we might be mirrored on the other side.
Looking at the other side, coming up from the 7, it's going to be Internet Hulk on the Winston. We've seen on Winston so many times before. Coco on the Zarya, Chipsogen on Mercy, Tailspin on the Reaper, Harry Hook on Lucio, Taimu on McCree, and there's no Widowmakers, no Genji, so I'm a little bit surprised here compared to the last time we saw this map. Which...
Yeah, I mean, it's not the perfect stage for him, but I thought we might see some Hanzos. There's some good verticality for some Pharahs, but teams, I think, are just going with their standard.
Taimu right now being a little bit risky, looking for the flank. Too Easy punishes Internet Hulk for being that over aggro early on. Tailspin, though, getting right into the middle of it, not letting Hulk's death be in vain. As Taimu now going to get a little bit of follow-up as well. 2 kills here for both sides. Valutaja, though, coming out. Valutaja, of course, one of the most deadly McCrees in the game. Reunited actually with a decent look here. They're starting to make decent progress onto the point. EnVy does have positioning on the point right now, but they're not really secure in taking it. So both teams brawling it out pretty even thus far.
They're relatively bloodless. Hulk comes in kind of alone. It's going to be interesting to see if he can get out. He does not.
Oh, Deadeye is up here, but the Graviton Surge already charged by Coco, pulling Reunited in. Tailspin coming in with the follow-up. There will be the Resurrection, though, coming out from Morte. Morte very important with that res. Tailspin getting in deep, looking for this Winston pickoff. And in comes the Death Blossom, gets both Cruz, Morte, and Too Easy. Makes it a triple kill. Tailspin coming in deep. And now this is looking very good for EnVy here on Ilios.
Yeah, it's such a small fighting area. Winghaven's going to try to tap dance on this to try to keep it from flipping over. He will give his life for it eventually, but he stalled it out for so long. Actually, Primal Rage is still not capping it.
Yeah, no, they stalled out for a lot of time there. At some point during that fight, Reunited did get the cap, so they're at 31%, and even though EnVy won the fight, for now, Reunited has won the war. They have more percentage, and Reunited has bought themselves a lot of time to sort of set up and retake it again.
I mean, it's a huge Death Blossom. It's such a small area of contention and area to fight on that Reaper can do so much work with that Death Blossom. Everyone kind of has to group up to fight in there.
Sound Bearer coming out here for the side of Reunited. Graviton Surge is on the menu. Too Easy going to look for an opportunity at 50 energy. There's a Graviton pulling in 2. The follow-up is there as Winghaven cleaving people to death as Winston off of that, and Unfixed with a bit of cleanup as well. So Death Blossom not even needed from Unfixed. Reunited going to take this right back. And percentage-wise, they're about to overtake EnVyUs, despite EnVyUs winning that first fight.
Yeah, this is an extremely back and forth, very close King of the Hill. Tailspin's going to have his Death Blossom up. Unfixed also has his. I think those are going to be the 2 ultimates to really look forward to here.
There will be death one way or another. Unfixed with a good position, comes in over the top, catches them unawares. Chipsogen going down as Unfixed completing the triple kill. A beautiful setup coming in. This is looking good for Reunited. They had a plan for Ilios, and they are executing it now, as all they need to do is win about another team fight and a half to take round 1 away from EnVy.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any really hero switches. I guess because it's so close, the teams are happy with what they're running, but I really was expecting to see something different here. I think it's because teams have not played enough Ilios that they don't really want to run something different. They just want to run standard. Taimu with the Deadeye coming in.
Deadeye's coming in. He's looking for his opportunity, waiting for the Zarya shield to fade. Will take out Winghaven. Valutaja, though, doing some McCree work of his own, has a double kill. Deadeye is going to go in on these resurrections. Rises off a little bit early, though. Has Winston all over him. Is going to get taken out as Internet Hulk, finding a way to get the double kill on Winston. Still has his ultimate charging in. Gonna make it a triple kill. The positioning of Internet Hulk is nothing but sublime. It might just be Winston, but not a whole lot of Winstons can do that mid-fight.
Bad guy.
I'm feeling angry.
Again, it's split back over. Tailspin has his Death Blossom up, and He's going to try to use it to defend this point. It just needs to be flipped over one more time here for Reunited.
Yeah, Reunited, they have a good option here, but Tailspin did have high ground, does have Death Blossom up, looking for his opportunity, does land some good Hellfire Shotgun shots. Winston in deep trouble, just going to get taken down early, and oh no, here comes the Death Blossom. Tailspin going in, has a double so far, going to end just there, but McCree in his sights. Hang on, we got Reapers on both sides, and Fix coming in. He has a Death Blossom, but might not even want to use it here, as the rest of his team is kind of dead.
Yeah, Morte was hanging out a little too close to that fight, trying to get his charge up. He did eventually get it to 100%, but got knocked away and unable to hit that resurrection. The good thing is he's going to have it up for the next fight, as is Unfixed. Baltaja and the Sound Barrier are going to be good to go. They have a small window where they're going to have Sound Barrier. The other team will not. They should be looking to exploit it here. One, because they have to go fight, like, right now.
And the beat will be dropped here in a second. We'll see if Unfixed can get value with the Death Blossom. This is the last chance here for Reunited. Both teams very, very close on percentage. Crew's gonna break it down. There it is. Unfixed now on the point in Wraith form, looking for his opportunity. Sound Barrier quickly fading. There's a huge Graviton. 4 people grabbed in. Unfixed with the follow-up. Down they go. And Reunited with the full team wipe. There's a team wipe horn. And Reunited is gonna take this round.
Yeah, no one here to contest. They just knew when they had to time that last fight. Were able to break it down. Got it. EnVyUs is interesting. I really thought we might see non-meta picks, but I think because it is such a non-meta map that no one really wants to be the team that takes a chance and loses this stage because they wanted to run Hanzo.
No, both teams very, very fiercely competitive here. Reunited wants to get over the hump. EnVyUs wants to continue their run of dominance. They won both weeklies last week, and they want to keep that going here. 10 seconds until we start here, and from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like there's any change-ups on both teams' rosters. They're just going to run in with the same exact setup, and with how close it was, I don't think either team can really feel like they need to change too much up. There we go, both teams running in, looking for their opportunity. I expect Winston leap-ins very, very soon. Internet Hulk not wasting any time moving in. Baltaja landing a fan, almost getting a quick pick to start things off. Both teams biding their time.
Yeah, Hulk is so smart with his Winston that he gets in and he never really dies and takes damage when he doesn't have to, and is able to, he knows when to retreat as well. He pressures people out just by his presence.
Oh, Taimu getting the double kill with the fan from the back. Going to die in the end, but might not matter. Tailspin coming in with his backup, getting a double kill. Internet Hulk chasing down an Envy. Going to get first cap here in round number 2. Envy looking a little bit stronger here in this round, but as we saw from round 1, this can go either way. There we go, the offense of Reunited coming in once again. Tailspin, though, not deterred, moving in, landing good shot after good shot, forcing Winghaven back. As we care for Baltaja, though, he does have Deadeye at the ready. But I gotta tell you, Tailspin will have Death Blossom up in one more shot. This could be a huge play. He's going around for the red form. You gotta think he's thinking about his ultimate. Baltaja, though, going to take that to his teammates. No! I'm not sure he got booped or not, but Tailspin gonna fall into the Sparta pit. Reunited saying this is Overwatch as they move forward. Reunited should be able to retake this here.
This is gonna make you feel
Yeah, I don't think he got booped. He might have actually got speed boosted by Harry Hook, who flipped the switch, because it looked like he was moving a little too fast and didn't expect himself to go over that ledge, but pretty disastrous fall there. He is fortunately going to have Death Blossom up now for this next fight.
And Death Blossom will be up. Tailspin moving forward with the speed boost, looking for his opportunity, avoiding the pit, but Baltaja going to just delete him from the game. Chips could have a resurrection. Keep an eye on that, Chips. It might just be worth the res tail here just because of the ultimate, and that is exactly what's going to happen. Tailspin back in the fight, and now a threat looking for the Death Blossom they couldn't get off before. Sound Barrier, though, going to kind of ruin his day just a little bit. He's going to wait. Death Blossom still at the ready. Here we go in just a moment. Will it happen instead? You can see the Death Blossom from Unfixed not actually doing anything.
Oh, Winghaven mistimed his jump earlier, fell into the pit. The corpse of Lucio goes into the pit too. The Death Blossom came down and a really nice shield came down from Hulk. He just put the fishbowl around him. No damage was done to anyone and then cleaned him up afterwards.
And Reunited actually had no one left on that point. Surprised it took as long for Envy to recap it, but Envy is in the lead, but just barely. This has been an absolute close one. I will say Reunited does have not really an edge, they're just even footing here. Both teams have Gravitons. Baltaja looking for the Deadeye. If he could pick someone, it would be huge. But the Graviton coming out, going to get 3 members of Reunited in there, but not the biggest fall. Only time we're going to take out Morte, but anytime you get a Mercy pick, it is usually a good pick. Graviton coming in from Too Easy, going to bring more in. Reunited struggling to bring this back. And oh no, Chipsogen in the pit, but able to get out. He is out of the pit. As Unfixed now getting the double kill. Chipsogen though still keeping Envy in it. I can't believe he actually got out of the pit. There's Taimu now. Double kill of his own. This is pretty crazy. No, Taimu gets knocked into the pit.
I think we're seeing why people don't like EnVyUs. It's the pit.
The pit has been a factor in this game here so far as both teams really slugging it out on top of this point, but I gotta note, Envy has kept control this entire time. They're at 99%, and Envy, or Reunited, cannot get off this now for any point, even as they retake it.
Whew. King of the Hill is insane. So back and forth. Unfix is the one with the Death Blossom up. Very few ultimates to work. Of note, though, Winghaven also has his ultimate, and Primal Rage is pretty good at knocking people into pits and off of cliffs, as we've already seen in this game.
Almost ready.
All right, so Unfixed does have the Death Blossom at the ready. Gonna be looking for an opportunity. He's had some big ults here thus far. Reunited needs to win about a fight and a half if they want to win this map and take map 1 away from EnVyUs. It'd be really, really good for them if they were able to do that. And here comes the Envy squad. Here comes the speed boost. Unfixed, threading the needle, gets in the back, and with the aid of Voltaja, 3 kills, now 4. A beautiful setup coming out from the side of Reunited, but the Resurrection Chips making this still a fight. The Graviton is out. Will it be enough for Reunited as they try and hold on here? Too Easy gonna melt down 2 people right after that Graviton. And Reunited looking strong at 96%. Now Envy can't back out for any reason. Envy has to stand the point, and they might not have what it takes.
Oh, they're gonna get cleaned up there.
Reunited stealing map 1 away from Envy. Could this be the tournament? Reunited's been trying to get over the hump for so long, and starting out 1-0 over Envy in this best out of 5 is definitely a good start.
Yeah, very close in King of the Hill. We do have more King of the Hill maps in the pool as well. It's EnVyUs, so who knows what factor that played in it. The pit definitely was a hero to some extent here.
Heroes never die.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Helden sterben nicht.
Alrighty, so we are going to move on to map number 2. That will be Envy's choice. EnVyUs getting its, I'm not going to say comp debut, we have seen it before, but certainly making its return to comp in grand fashion, and Reunited playing it pretty well. I'm still just a little bit surprised that we saw a distinct lack of Genjis, Pharahs, and Widows in the map, given its verticality, but
I think
wasn't needed in the end.
I think it's just a map that people don't play enough to really have a specific comp for. Those were very standard King of the Hill compositions on both sides, regardless of what map it is. And even though they might, be better heroes on that map for certain stages, I just think that they just wanted to play as comfortable as possible and not try anything to switch it up.
Definitely. So we'll know the next map here in just a moment. It will be Envy's choice. This is a best out of 5. You are watching the grand finals. This is GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly EU Cup. Thank you so much for joining us here today. 17,000 viewers in chat. You guys are awesome.
Well, that was EnVyUs. If you're new to Overwatch or competitive Overwatch, that was the first time pretty much we've ever seen EnVyUs in competitive Overwatch in a grand, well, definitely in a finals that I can recall. I think I've only seen it once or twice before. Overall, it's a map you just often don't see. It's the least played King of the Hill, but now we're going back to more standard territory as we move on to Hollywood.
We will move on to Hollywood. I don't believe King's Row is in this map pool, so King's Row will not be making an appearance, which is surprising given that it's in effectively every map series riding up to this, but Hollywood will be the map, standard as standard gets in Overwatch. They're asking if we're ready. We are ready, and we're just going to get right into it.
Well, Envy banned out King's Row because it is a map that they've lost to Reunited before. So they banned out the first 2 maps, their first 2 bans, were Route 66 and King's Row, and it's because they've lost both of those maps to Reunited before. They're the only maps they've lost to Reunited before, well, in the last couple weeks anyway.
All right, so we're just getting right into it. Hollywood is the map. Reunited up 1-0, striking first blood at EnVyUs. And EnVyUs perhaps getting a little bit rattled on EnVyUs. We'll see if they can make a big comeback here on Hollywood. And I'll note that we were talking about the potential of Widow on EnVyUs. Even though we didn't see it there, we will absolutely see it here on Hollywood. And Too Easy is going to have to step it up if he wants to deal with Taimu here on this map.
Yeah, Widows definitely dictate the pace of the game. You would imagine that 2Easy is going to be on that offensive Widow. Yeah, he does queue up on that. I'm just excited to see more Internet Hulk on Symmetra. Symmetra's been absolutely standard on this map too, and Internet Hulk is, wins play of the game on Symmetra often. So it's going to be interesting also where he puts his teleporter is a big deal as well. Cloud9 puts it in a very safe spot, pretty far away from the point, but it's enough that it always stays alive. But where you position your teleporter is big, and we'll see where he wants to put it. As I mentioned, Internet Hulk will be playing the Symmetra. Taimu is on that Widowmaker. Coco on the defensive Reinhardt. Chips will be playing Mercy. Tailspin on a defensive Junkrat, and Harry Hook comes up as McCree.
The traps being set here on the right side. They're hoping for a quick kill just to delay the offense by that much. Speaking of the offense, take a look at them coming out here for the side of Reunited. It's going to be Cruz on the Lucio, Unfixed on Zarya, Voltaja on the McCree, Morte on Mercy, 2Easy on Widowmaker, and Winghaven. Gonna round things out here on the Reinhardt. 2Easy versus Taimu will be underway. Which Widow will reign supreme will have a huge effect on this match.
Yeah, this is something that EnVy does pretty early on. They're one of the few teams that does it, and they're just smart about it. Where they try to get some picks early on, holding out here. They try not to take too much damage. Taimu and Harry are going to be very smart about how far they poke out, and then when it looks like it's too much, they just retreat.
It's a smart strategy. You don't want to be too overextended. You definitely don't want to die in that position out there, which is more favorable to the offense than defense. Why not go back? And 2Easy going for the grapple shot, finds the wrong end of Taimu's sniper rifle. And Taimu striking first blood, both for the game, but also in the Widow v Widow fight. And that's a rough go for Reunited.
Thanks. Put it on my tab.
Yeah, really slows down the push. I mean, I like to watch the chip damage battle between the Reinhardts here. They're both trying to land fire strikes to charge up their ults. Huge initiation comes in immediately, though.
Yeah, they're coming right in. They're not wasting any time as Winghaven goes in, is able to take out Harry Hook early on here. And McCree being down is usually a big deal for a defense as an engine of DPS. And Reunite has an opportunity here as Unfixed takes out Tailspin. They've gotten two of the big picks they need to get. 2Easy going around, looking for Taimu. Taimu's still somehow alive, using the railings for cover. Oh my goodness, who is going to win here? Taimu's living way longer than he should. 2Easy had a golden opportunity. He might now be going down to Taimu. Taimu getting in with the Widow's Kiss. The Widow duel absolutely real, and 2Easy going to win with 30 HP.
Yeah, Cruz sneaks around the back and takes out that teleporter, which is going to be huge, not allowing that reinforcement. Chips does not have ultimate up yet. Unfixed has stayed alive this entire time, cleans up everyone at the Graviton.
Yeah, meanwhile, while that was going on, even though 2Easy was able to win that in the back and it took him a while, the rest of the team was doing well. Voltaja regulating on the point. And in the end, Reunited guys had a pretty good time here on point A.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the first push was the most successful. They were able to drop down that teleporter. Early on, Unfixed got a free flight from Junkrat Airlines, launched him into the cafe, and no one ever cleaned him up. He just rained Terra Zarya, able to charge up that Graviton, but he's in a strange position. However, it's a nice defensive transition. They are holding rooftops. They gave up the point when they knew they had to give it up, which doesn't allow a big push coming in from the offense.
The defense right now, they are on the rooftops as noted. They're looking for their opportunity. Coco certainly sizing up the enemy team, looking for his opportunity to drop the hammer on all of them. Winghaven a big deal in preventing that. We do have the Deadeye coming up from Voltaja, and this is just buying his team time as they move forward here. As they try and spread out a bit, they know that Coco is going to be looking for that Earth Shatter when he gets an opportunity, but Coco going to drop to the ground, actually a little bit alone. That was not the place he needed to drop, and Reunited capitalizing on that mistake.
Heroes never die.
Resurrection comes up
from Reunited, but Taimu now in the back on McCree, no longer on the Widowmaker. 2 quick kills, make it 3 coming out from Reunited. And Envy looks a little bit lost here as Voltaja with the left clicks. Not Mick RMB, Mick left click right now for Voltaja, carrying his team through, and this is a little bit sloppy coming up from the side of Envy.
Yeah, they're flying right now. They took all the momentum from that first capture and then won the second fight again decisively. Right now, Envy is just yet to really even win a fight.
Alrighty, so the offense now still full on momentum. Voltaja going to drop the Deadeye, looking for his opportunity. Deadeye, one of the few things in the game that can really deal with the Primal Rage. Meanwhile, back on the point, Envy now starting to stabilize a bit here on the defensive end. They got 3 kills, looking for 4. Cruz struggling to stay alive, won't be able to stay alive. And Unfixed, one of the last people alive, he's going to go down. So we'll see if Envy can stabilize here, but the interesting thing on both teams, I was going to say we don't have a Widow. 2Easy is going to switch to a Widow now. He doesn't have to worry about time on a Widow, and I like this Widow switch up coming out from 2Easy.
Yeah, an unopposed Widow is absolutely devastating, especially, you know, on offense, on Hollywood rooftops. Now they do see him there. I think I imagine at some point Hulk is going to be the one flanking around to try to deal with him. They might not even worry about it and just take this fight to the ground.
Very, very possible. The beat is getting dropped here from defense to defense, being very aggressive here, and is working out. Tailspin to Death Blossom, gonna take out Winghaven. Move it, looking for more as a double. Will effectively get the triple. And the Russian coming in from EnVy, very effective, will push the offense back, and now EnVy can set up on this even more forward rooftop and make things even rougher for Reunited.
And unopposed Too Easy did absolutely nothing there. He got shot after shot off, but everyone was like full healed. He wasn't getting huge headshots going. And then they cleaned up everything on the ground, and eventually Hulk said, oh yeah, he's still up there. Went up and killed him too at the end. Too Easy then, yeah, he's not feeling it. He comes up on Tracer.
Gonna make you feel better.
Yeah, Too Easy has been known to switch off heroes a lot in the game, perhaps more so than any other player that we know of. Unfixed can take out Internet Health pretty early in this fight. Coco striking right back. Deadeye coming out from the offense. Always have to respect that. And oh my goodness! Taimu got booped into the Deadeye. That was beautiful teamwork coming out from the side of Reunited as Too Easy getting in for the Tracer, getting the double kill. That was just awesome.
Gets another couple kills. Too Easy's going off on his Tracer.
Too Easy definitely making Tracer work right now. I don't see her as often, but she is working when her limit as Internet Hulk exploding like fireworks from that pulse bomb. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Too Easy.
Treated to do a light show.
Exploding scientist.
Oh, that was great. He's a superstar, shooting star.
Either way, Reunited definitely retaking momentum in this game. They're moving forward.
They are so far forward. Unfixed is up top too. Taimu does take down Too Easy. That might signal a retreat from this main core in the bottom, but I think Unfixed is going to be hanging out up here. He's got his Death Blossom up, and they don't see him.
Now the Death Blossom could be absolutely devastating here, and look at this. He's measuring them. He's weighing for perfection. He knows they don't realize he's up here. Oh my goodness, this could be huge. He's dropping down. There's the Q. 2 kills for Unfixed. Lots of damage being done. The follow-up coming in from Too Easy and Voltaja, but Chips again sacrificing his life, bringing back up the team. But the Earth Shatter coming in as Reunited will not be denied. They are moving forward. Coco and the last people up in the back. I'm not sure what Coco's doing back there.
Never die.
Resurrection gonna come up for Reunited, and they are absolutely in the driver's seat right now.
Huge Death Blossom, somewhat negated by the Zarya, but then even after the Resurrection, which got burned early, they're able to Earth Shatter that out, and now they're just cleaning up kills. Too Easy has gone off on Roadhog now with 4 kills.
He grabbed Taimu, brought him to him, and got the kill. Coco gonna drop the Earth Shatter, but has no follow-up. It was a beautiful Earth Shatter buff. No one's there to swing the hammer with you. It is bad times. Coco gonna get taken out, and there it is. The time being set there by Reunited, and it's probably going to be a pretty good time in the end. They weren't stopped all that often.
No, for as bad as Too Easy's Widow was on rooftops unopposed, he just got mad and went off his Tracer, then switched off his Tracer, went absolutely ham as Roadhog. So he had himself a great game, just not on Widow.
By the way, chat, talking about the Winston blowing up in air, Team Rocket is blasting off again. Thank you, chat. That is awesome. All right, 6:47 is the time to beat. That is a very quick time on Hollywood, and Reunited looking like a completely different team when compared to last week or even just earlier today in the series. EnVyUs in some trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, Reunited is playing as good as I've seen them play against a super strong team. That was a super fast Hollywood, able to win on the first couple pushes on first. It's crucial. You know, first 2 pushes are usually your best couple. Unopposed mostly, except for 1 fight through the streets phase. And then even with Too Easy struggling on Widow, which generally dominates Hollywood, they're able to finish it off with 647.
Prepare to attack.
Yeah, no, EnVyUs absolutely under the gun now. You don't want to go down 2 games in a best-of-5 series because even though you can bring it back, and we have seen teams come close to bringing back those sort of series in the past, it's rough to win 3 games in a row, especially against a team as good as Reunited. Whew. All right, so we are going to be good to go here in 15 seconds. The defense will be on the way. It will be Reunited on the defense. Gonna be Voltaja on the McCree, Morte on the Mercy. He's on Lucio right now, but he will switch. He just wants to get his Symmetra out there just a little bit faster. Too Easy on the Widowmaker, Winghaven on Reinhardt, Cruz on Symmetra, and Unfixed gonna round things out here on the Junkrat.
All right, so offensively, Hulk is going to flex onto Zarya as Coco plays main tank and Reinhardt. Chips will be playing Mercy, Taimu on the offensive Widowmaker, Tailspin on McCree, and Harry Hook will be running Lucio. I almost said Harry Hook running the bridge above, but unfortunately. It's just Lucio.
I miss the bridge above. I also miss Pluppy. Rogue was not able to get to the finals, but of course, Tavik was once known as Pluppy. It was a way better name than Tavik. I'm just saying it.
Yeah, the Plup of the game. Plup of the game was a thing.
Plup of the game. That had a lot of momentum. People were all in on it. Although, I guess you have Tavik D, so whatever.
Fair enough.
It evens out.
Fair enough. All right, so a lot of this is going to be based on if Cruz can get some nice chunk damage in early and get a teleporter up. Again, the first 2 pushes, especially on hybrid type maps like this, like King of the Row, are usually your best couple pushes. Once a defense gets set up and is able to get a teleporter up, the next pushes become that much harder.
And let's take a look at Taimu. Taimu going to use this palm tree to his advantage. He's going to go for a grapple shot. Actually going for the building instead. I'm not sure he actually wanted to go there. I think he wanted to use the palm tree. That was a little bit of a rough angle. He did not get a grapple shot off as a result. So Envy right now, they are moving with a bit of haste. They know they have to move in. Reinhardt looking for an opportunity, but Coco going to go down the Cruz, which is
huge.
double bad because not only are you down to Reinhardt, but Cruz is going to be able to get a teleporter up earlier than expected. And even though Coco's getting rezzed right now, this is a little bad here for the offensive Envy.
Yeah, they feel it though too. Now they're going to really aggress because they know that they just fed Cruz a lot. Cruz is at 100%, but they were taking this huge fight to him.
They are taking to them. It was looking good for a moment. The Resurrection will get and do a lot of the damage. Tailspin, though, still making it alive, getting the triple kill here thus far until Unfixed finds the bomb right to the face. Here comes the tire. Mercy going to get run right over.
Yeah, they had cleaned it up. Now Cruz is going to get that teleporter set up way in back.
The teleporter, now this is a lot better for Reunited. Once you have the teleporter up, it's way easier to hold here. It becomes a priority for the offense. And EnVyUs, again, does not have a whole lot of time to work with here. Reunited was able to put up a good time on them, so even though they have about 5.5 minutes, that's not much when talking about Hollywood. Tailspin, though, moving in, lands a perfect flashbang over the top, has Deadeye on the menu, looking now for the Widow, and is in fact out-dueling Too Easy right now. Too Easy having to crouch and run for his life. Don't always see McCree putting him under pressure like that. In fact, he will take out Too Easy as Tailspin going absolutely wild on this push, gets a triple kill. Deadeye on, coming out. Now let's just talk about Tailspin there. Usually it was associated with projectile DPS, but went absolutely off of McCree, and he's still going off.
My ultimate is charging.
My goodness.
My ultimate is charging.
Took out the teleporter in there too, which, you know, it is not as flashy as killing people with Fan the Hammer, but just as important as it denies all of that reinforcement. Now we're going to see what they transition to as we enter in the roof phase of Hollywood. Winston comes up for Too Easy.
The problem here is for Reunited is Reunited was not able to set up the way they would like to. They're going to get some setup here, but not the perfect forward rooftop setup that you can get if you sort of just slightly lose the first point rather than fully losing it.
Yeah, Too Easy is going to be forward trying to draw them up on the first roof as everyone takes the slow elevator to the backside here. They do get set up eventually.
They are getting set up. Voltagia does have a Deadeye. He can use it over the top. And they don't want to go to the bottom because Coco does have that Earth Shatter at the ready, but they're moving forward. The speed boost is out. Tailspin going to go down to that as Voltage now moving in, almost taking out Coco with the flashbang over the top. You see Taimu in the back, but he's going to get just domed by Voltage before Voltage goes down. Look at Morte. Morte on the prowl here for Rez, going to bring up 3 people. Found the spot. Reunited's back to full strength.
Yeah, holds pretty good. Too Easy cleans up another couple kills. It's just not his day for Widow. He's done so much better on any hero that's not Widow. He's on Winston now, doing some decent work there. It's just one of those days, just not feeling it.
Well, the interesting thing is that Taimu is now on the Reaper, not on Widowmaker. This is a Widowless Streets phase of Hollywood. I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel about this right now. And here we go, the defense rushing in once again. Reunited, looking to be aggressive, looking to maintain an edge. And Chipsy went down early in this fight. There will be no res here for the offense, and that is pretty darn huge. This is going to have to be a fully decisive fight for Envy if they want to take this. Tailspin, though, trying to make that happen. Getting in on the Winston. Winston having to run for his life. Throws in the shield, and no, Tailspin going to get electrified instead. Good positioning by Too Easy. Reunited is buying themselves so much time here. In fact, time-wise, only 3 minutes remains for Envy here in this map.
Taimu Death Blossoms into a shield, nothing, and then dies. That was an interesting ult.
Wasn't interesting ult, just to not get the value. And Taimu saying, to heck with Reaper. I am going to go bring out the Widowmaker again, the tried and true. Let's see if Taimu can turn it on here, but looking Unfixed. Unfixed is measuring Envy as they move forward. They have no idea he's here. He sees Chipsogen. He's licking his chops.
Oh, let's break it. Damn.
And Unfixed now off Lucio's speed boost, moving in, hoping he has the right positioning, looking for the Death Blossom. Is he going to hit Q? 2 quick kills here for Reunited. He might not even need the Death Blossom here.
Heroes never die. Heroes
We do have the
never
Resurrection
die.
coming up from both sides, and now the Death Blossom might be underway. We'll find out here in a second. It's too easy getting the double kill as Winston. Reinhardt gonna go down in short order as Cruz, of all people, picking up the double kill. And the really good thing there is that Reunited was able to save ults. It looked like Unfixed was gonna drop it. He was told by his team, no, don't use it just yet, and it pays off.
Well, Too Easy went really aggressive, popped his Primal Rage, and was just trying to knock them back and spawn. It might be part of some sort of delay tactic. Unfixed in a great spot here to drop in on them on Death Blossom, completely unseen.
Oh, he's going in. He's got to take this. He's feasting. 2 kills for Unfixed. He's going to get charged up by Coco. Pretty heads-up charge by Coco to stop that where it is, but not before he takes down the Mercy. And once the Mercy goes down, it is always bad news. Unfixed saying LMAO to that charge, but Coco dropping the hammer, making this payload his own. Misses the charge, though. He might come to regret that here in a moment if Reinhardt kills him, and he will go down. So a little bit of misplay there by Coco, but probably doesn't matter given the presence on the point.
Yeah, Coco's had great plays. It's all just come a little too late.
They're saying GG. Technically, there's still a little bit of time left here on the Envy side. I mean, it's very unlikely given that's a minute 15, but they're just going to GG out, so. Internet Hulk is lobby, or host, so I'm just going to say. There it is. Reunited with the 2-0 lead now over Envy. This is huge.
It's very surprising. Now, it is going to be EnVyUs' map pick yet again, but Hollywood was EnVyUs' map pick, and they kind of just got handled there. So they're in trouble. Maybe they're feeling some of that ping, but this would be absolutely enormous for United. They've always struggled trying to beat the top teams, and this is the best team right now in the game. EnVyUs has won the last couple. I mean, Cloud9, of course, is still in that conversation, but this would be absolutely enormous for Reunited. They're always second place. They always make it to finals. They just have a hard time closing out tournaments. And to beat EnVyUs, where EnVyUs is peaking right now, you know, pings aside, no one's ever going to remember that. And now we're going to Numbani.
No, definitely not. We are going to Numbani, and this is a little bit rough since this has historically been a very strong map for Reunited. Could Reunited be about to do the 3-0 dream over Envy? I would not have expected that going into this match.
I don't think anyone would have expected that. I mean, yes, it is a very good Reunited map. They're very good on it, but I've seen EnVyUs play very well on here too. EnVyUs also, I think back to their IDDQ days, used to run a Torb on this map as well. So it would be interesting to see if they bust that out. But traditionally, I know you and I both think of this as Reunited, one of Reunited's strongest maps, and especially, I mean, as far as Numbani goes, I think Reunited is the best team on it. I don't know if a lot of teams love the map or really care for that it's their best map, but I still associate this map as Reunited's map overall, so it's an interesting pick. Envy back against the wall. This would be absolutely huge for Reunited.
Yeah, Reunited with a lot of opportunity here as they move forward, and we'll see if they can close it out on what is effectively sort of their home field. Numbani has been a very generous map to them. They haven't always won on it, but their win rate on it compared to every other map is absolutely great. So Reunited now has a just beautiful opportunity here to close this out, take it 3-0 over Envy, and finally get over the hump and say, look, we won this tournament. We are not the runner-up.
Yeah, I'm sure they will, if that comes to pass, they will tweet to that regard. Like, well, what is this first place? We're not second. I'm confused, which has happened in the past when they have won tournaments. But look, I mean, they have been consistently the second place team since the first days of beta, forever ago. They've always been there. I kind of root for them in my heart of hearts because they've been around forever. EnVyUs is a great team. I'm stunned by these results so far, but it's not over yet. But if you told me that EnVyUs or that Reunited had a chance to close out 3-0 against EnVyUs in the finals and we're going to Numbani, I would not have believed you.
No, I wouldn't have believed it either. I mean, you look at all the results between these teams, both as EnVyUs and as IDDQD, they have effectively owned Reunited in most of these matchups, but Reunited has been coming out as a completely different team here, and they haven't even needed full contribution from some of their members. Widowmaker somehow making less of an impact in the series than anyone would have thought. There are points in Hollywood where Widow wasn't used at all. There are points, of course, in Ilios where not even just points, she wasn't used period on Ilios. So Widow not being a factor here has been a huge deal, and this has just been exciting in general.
It's been a strange day for Widow across the board for teams. Players that we're used to seeing dominate on Widow have had rough games. Overwatch's King's Widow play was subpar at its best, so it's been weird, especially with how dominant Widow has been in the meta for the last month at the very least. So to have a Widow-less day and then Widows that are just struggling is... I'm just pretty surprised by it. So we'll see. It's also a pretty good map for Widow here, especially on defense. Might see some Torbs. It's an interesting map, to say the least. Extremely long. Let's do it.
We're getting right into it. It will be Numbani. It is the home of the Golden Rhino. It is where you can see the legendary organic oil, and it is where Reunited, feeling pumped up, is going to try and strike EnVyUs down and complete the sweep here in the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly EU Cup. And this should be good.
Yeah, and I think this is, we are going to see the Torb. Coco on Torb is likely going to be the case. Then, I also like the Soldier 76 pick if they stick with that. And then the Defensive Widow looking for just all that distance damage, really. Because it is such a long map, and you just need to decisively win fights. What the Defensive Widow and the 76 give you in this situation, with Taimu's going to be on the Defensive Widow, Tailspin, of course, on a Roadhog, Internet Hulk will play the Winston, Harry Hook on that 76, Coco on the Torbjorn, Chips on Mercy. The advantage there is it starts winning you the fight before the fight even started, because the approach for the offense is out in the open. You're already going to tickle them with damage before it happens, and really, like I said earlier, the fights in Numbani are not long fights or prolonged. They happen, maybe a res comes off, maybe not if you can pick the Mercy, and then it's over and you wait another 30 seconds for the offense to reset. So that's why you see damage distance really being a top priority for defensive teams.
No, absolutely. And Numbani is interesting too, is that there's a lot of different ways that teams like attacking it. Sometimes they'll go up the gut, sometimes they'll go up the side, sometimes they'll do hybrid. It's a map where you have a lot of options, both defense and offense. But take a look here at the offense as it sets up for the side of Reunited. It is going to be Winghaven on the Winston, Voltaja on D.Va, Cruz on Lucio, Unfixed on Pharah, Morte on the Mercy, and 2Easy showing Genji. We haven't seen as much Genji as we'd like today. Genji making his grand reappearance here, and we'll see what 2Easy does with him. Taimu right now not wasting any time, already getting 25% ult charge, landing some Widow damage, not taking out anyone just yet. And Reunited looks like they're showing up the gut. Let's talk about D.Va here. Voltaja on the D.Va, not something you see every day. He's moving in, getting right in onto Widowmaker, and down goes Taimu. Voltaja raising his APM, and this is an interesting approach coming out from the side of Reunited.
Yeah, they just took the fight all the way back to the corner. Resurrection does come off first for Reunited.
They will res first. They do have the Torbjorn in the back. He has the turret up. Coco trying to make Aardvark pay off. Voltaja can be knocked out of his mech in a moment, but doesn't matter. He's going to live at least for a little bit. And getting the double kill on D.Va as Winghaven now dominating on top of the point. And even though this has been bloody on both sides, Reunited is slowly making this their point.
Yeah, Chips is back alive. I don't think he's going to be able to get to the point long enough or quick enough to be able to res people. Taimu's getting pushed out now. That fight's over. There's no one alive to stall this out. The point's already at 2/3.
Alrighty, Molten Core coming up here from Coco. Might be too little, too late though, as now 2Easy pulling out the Dragon Blade. Reunited just wants to keep the momentum. They might just do that. Unfixed now on the Pharah. Coco going to go down. And Mercy having to run for her life. Unfixed will go down before getting anything too much off, but this is all gravy for the offense. Even if they die, they have to push up the card anyways, and the defense won't be pushing that much further up to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that any hit scan player in the game, Voltaja would be good at. You neglected to mention D.Va on that list.
Yeah, D.Va, not something you usually consider there, but D.Va definitely made it happen in a time where she's not usually the most picked, so glad to see some D.Va play actually happen here. Now the defense moving forward, Taimu looking for a pickoff, going to run the flashbang, does not hit Morte, and Taimu just way too far, could die to the Mercy pistol instead. Some good evasive maneuvers coming out from Morte's. Voltaja cleaning up for the offense, and Reunited is really looking strong right now. Voltaja completing the quad kill.
They are setting a phenomenal time here. They won first point on the first push, which is exactly what you want to happen. Just able to dive deep enough, really smart, taking the high ground. I love the D.Va pick, able to neutralize that Torb early on. they look unstoppable right now.
No, they look absolutely phenomenal how they're playing at the moment. Voltagia right now moving forward, going to have Deadeye up in just a moment. Deadeye on the way, Lucio speed boost is out. Reunited smells blood. This Deadeye right now not going to do too much. Winghaven did get a little bit split, so momentum going to be slowed down just a little bit, but still, it's been very good for Reunited this far.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Hook going to drop the sound barrier. They're moving in. Taimu getting the double kill. Tailspin with the follow-up. This is absolutely beautiful now for Envy. Envy showing their first signs of life all game long. Solid initiation, and there is the team wipe horn.
Yeah, I was a little concerned that Taimu was going to get any value off of that. The sound barrier came down late. He held it forever. Then eventually they took a different angle off of the cliff. Taimu was able to pick up 2 off of that. Now they're sitting pretty here on the carts. There are a couple switch-ups coming in on offenses. Unfixed is now on that Reaper as well. Too Easy is not getting enough work done right now on the Tracer. His first pulse bomb missed. We'll see if he can get to that back line, but Chip's very evasive.
Yeah, Too Easy is going to get to the back and aided by that Lucio speed boost. And look at the defense of Envy right now, going into the building, sort of treating this like a variant of the Watchpoint Gibraltar server room defense. Kind of like this approach here from Envy, but Internet Hulk just going to eat the pulse pistol damage in the back. Good approach here from Reunite here thus far. Only down 1 player. Tailspin going to go down. Chips, though, going to bring up those fallen heroes. Too Easy still here as Tracer, landing a lot of damage, but Taimu going to end his life in the back. Now look at Tailspin. Tailspin has Death Blossom. Might not even need to use it here on this fight.
I'm ready to unleash my primal rage.
Yeah, definitely have their feet under them now. We could see, you know, a big pulse bomb coming from Too Easy could switch things around, but right now EnVyUs has absolutely stabilized after getting rolled through on those first couple points.
Well, here we go. Tailspin does have the Death Blossom up. He's looking for an opportunity. Speed boost is out. Oh my goodness! Tailspin getting the double kill, and if not for the Lucio boop, that would have been a quad. That is a very good initiation, but it's not a one fight yet here for the side of Envy. They still need to clean a few people up after the resurrection. We do see the Earth Shatter coming down from Coco. Coco moving in, swinging the hammer, will take out Winghaven. The offense now down quite a few people. I think they need to back out a bit, regroup, etc. But good stuff coming out from Tail.
Yeah, actually, they just res instead. Winghaven's back in this fight. Big Earth Shatter.
Earth Shatter coming down, knocks down 3. Winghaven says, I'm not done yet. Gets to the back, takes out Taimu. Tailspin does get charged in the wall, somehow lives with the aid of a shield.
Heroes never die.
And the res going to be coming out here from the side of Envy. Chips with the resurrection. Tailspin going in. Tailspin already almost has another Death Blossom.
Yeah, he's been doing a ton of just chip damage. He's not afraid to empty and throw away those shotguns. Too Easy again with the pulse bomb up. He's whipped his last 2. Can this one be an impactful one? He needs to get to the back line. He's taking a different route, I believe, trying to clear through top.
I see Tailspin now is on the top, looking for what he can get here. We see the Deadeye coming out from the side of Voltagia. Reunited, this has been a little bit of a disappointment for them with how quickly they went through the beginning. Envy, this defense has absolutely been stymieing them. They don't really know how to deal with the drop-down defense, but Harry Hook getting caught a little bit off guard, will go down. Tailspin, though, immediately avenging his fallen brethren. And this could be a huge Death Blossom coming up right now. Oh my goodness, is he going to drop it? Might not even need to, as the Earth Shatter from Coco doing all the work anyways. Tailspin gets to save that cooldown.
My ultimate is charging.
Well, Too Easy has had enough of being on Tracer. He didn't even get the Blast Pulse Bomb off. He got murdered early on. He's going to switch to Roadhog, where he had some success on last time. Something needed to change there. They're definitely just not getting the value off of that Tracer. The supports for Envy are too elusive.
Now, this has been absolutely great for Envy here thus far. And even though it was a rough start, they've really solidified on this last point. And Tailspin, he's just looking for the speed boost. Oh my goodness, he gets stunned out. Was not quite looking for it. Is able to recover, and is the Death Blossom going to happen? Is going to happen. He catches Morte, and that is the most important part about getting to the back line.
Heroes never die.
Resurrection going to come up here for the defense. There will be no res for the attack. The attackers just have to clean everyone up on their own, and that might not be in the cards as Taimu getting 2 quick kills here on the defense.
Yeah, both Winghaven and Voltagia died with their ults. Unfixed has his ult too, so they are going to be able to coordinate another huge push. You don't want to trickle any deaths now. They do escape all right.
Ultimate is ready. Let's do this.
I just feel like they haven't been able to combo their ults in the way that has been effective for them. They've also missed a bunch when Too Easy was on the Tracer, was just not getting value out of those pulse bombs. He's going to have a whole hog up too. Maybe a whole hog into Crack the Shield, into Earth Shatter, into High Noon. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here, but a lot of Qs are going to be hit.
The Deadeye coming out here from the offense. The offense looking like something out of nothing right now. The tailspin once again lands a Death Blossom, gets the triple kill. And this fight is over before it begins. And Envy right now really making a huge comeback on this map. This is looking like Reunited had them on the ropes, was going to end this in epic fashion. But Reunited has just not had an answer to this drop-down defense.
Tailspin's been a monster on Reaper all day, going back to Dorado. When he switched to Reaper, they were able to really change that map around for them, and they had some bad momentum-breaking moments, and he's just been going clutch. Yes, he's getting damage boosted, which is why he has Death Blossom up every 3 to 4 seconds, it seems.
Take a look here. Unfixed does have the Death Blossom. He's looking to do what Tailspin has done. Has to kill Tailspin first. Will take him out. Big plays coming out from Unfixed. Now the Tailspin is down. This could be huge. He's looking for the Death Blossom. They're just going to use it. The res only on Tailspin. Unfixed goes to the back. Has to back out. That would not have been a good Death Blossom. And Tailspin now alive. Able to do work once again. Unfixed, though, with the Death Blossom of his own, gets absolutely nothing accomplished. And this is a little bit rough now for the side of Reunited. They have gotten 2 kills. It's not over yet. Earthshatter coming down from the defense did not knock down as much as they would like, but might be enough all the same. As both teams really getting into it.
Yeah, Voltage cleaned up, Coca cleaned up. I would like to see them try at least one coordinated push through the top. They've been having trouble clearing out top, and they've walking through here, getting dropped on as they've never had high ground. Absolutely cleaned up now. They have one last good push in them. They're going to have Earthshatter, they're going to have Soundbearer, and Whole Hog. I would like to see them just try to go up the stairs as a group, clear out the problem, which has been, Tailspin up here on the Reaper with the Mercy. If they can just walk through up here, I think it's a better angle of approach.
Yeah, I think if they got the high ground first, it would be better because they've just been getting dominated by the high ground. Reunited is down to their last push. Here comes a Deadeye from Taimu. If he gets even one person here, it could be game over for Reunited. He is not going to get anything with that Deadeye, and now Reunited does have an opportunity. They do have ults up, including Whole Hog, including Earthshatter. So let's see if Winghaven can do one of his trademark big Earthshatters here. Put the team on his back. He is moving in. They are aggressively attacking them through this room here. Voltage able to take out Taimu. But again, Chipsujin is still alive. Chipsujin still has the ability to bring his team back from the dead. And so far, there's the Earthshatter coming down for Coco. Gonna knock down 3, but it's not enough. Reunited staying in there. Chip's already using the res, not getting as much value as he'd like. Morte died the tail, though, and that is huge.
He has Death Blossom, or he did. Never mind. He must have used it. I missed it. Now they finally have some momentum here. They have 4 on the cart. They have ultimates. Resurrection is available for them. The final push looks like it's working.
I think Reunited might be able to do this at the very last moment here. It's been a very big struggle. Unfixed, though, does have Death Blossom. Can move in. Will just drop it here in a moment, but almost dies to the McCree. Has to be careful. Earthshatter going to come down here from the offense. Unfixed looking for his opportunity. Drops the Death Blossom. Gets booped into the other team. A little bit of help there from Lucio as Unfixed and Too Easy going to clean up here around the point, and there it is. Not without a whole ton of effort, but Reunited will complete out the map. A bit of a disappointment given how quickly they went through the early stages.
Yeah, there was a moment towards that last push where Volataja was high nooning. Taimu came down to try to negate it. He canceled his high noon, flashed out Taimu, and killed him instead. This is pretty early in the map.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
Yeah, that's what really started EnVyUs stabilizing, where it seemed like he held it forever and then was able to get a couple off of it. That's what EnVy was getting rolled. That was one of the ultimates to really slow them down and put up a defensive time of 10:44.
Yeah, they were able to hold it in. 10:44 is the time remaining, or is the time that EnVy will have the beat, and that's a very beatable time. So EnVy, if they do want to entertain the idea of pulling the reverse sweep here, it needs to start now, and they've given themselves a lot of time to work with here on Numbani.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much just finish it. It's one of the slowest possible times on Numbani. I suppose the first couple points could have gone lower, but Numbani is also a point where some teams struggle getting the first point because, like I said, it's not a prolonged fight kind of point. You're gonna fight, and if you win the fight, then you win the point, and that's about it. And that's gonna happen as many times as it needs to happen on offense. Like I said, 10:44 is a long time, and it looks like on defense they're gonna run a Torb as well. Torb's really back into vogue, but only on Numbani it seems.
Yeah, we do see him on Numbani. Every now and then we will see him on Hollywood, but he's seemingly fallen out of favor a little bit on the Hollywood. No clue why. I think C9 we'll see tomorrow when we do see more of C9. I think C9 does still run him on Hollywood. But a lot of teams have sort of gone away from him, just thinking that they're not getting enough value. Hard to tell where he stands, but right now, the most you can see is that he's a situational pick.
Yeah, I was going to say, we see him on Hollywood, but that's only with Cloud9. I rarely see another team run him there. So looks like they're actually going to go double builder. Oh, they come off the Torb. All right, so no Torb on defense.
Okay, so no Torb, period.
Yeah.
All right.
That defense is going to be
times.
Cruz on Symmetra. Too Easy for now is going to be on Tracer, not willing to give that up. Still trying to hunt down those supports. He does switch on to Widow as I say that. Winghaven will be running one tank, and Winston Unfixed will be playing the Roadhog, Balotaja on McCree, and Morte on Mercy. There we go.
Meanwhile, we're taking a look here at the offense. I don't believe this for a second, but you never know. We have seen Bastion in stranger situations. It's going to be Harry Hook on the Lucio, Chiptogen on Mercy, Coco on Reinhardt, Internet Hulk on the Winston, Tailspin on Genji, and it very well could be Taimu on Bastion, but I am not convinced.
Yeah, I believe it, actually. I think they're going to run their Winston Doe to the top right. He's going to try to clear out and draw attention top right as the rest of the team runs straight up the stairs and gets the Bastion set up at the top of the stairs. Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Bastion is happening. El Presidente making his grand appearance.
Well, they know, though. They saw it. Unfixed saw it. They're going to try to run up these stairs, though. That's where they want to set up. Nope, never mind. They're going to the bottom stairs.
They're just going straight onto the platform, and he's going to turret mode up. Will this work? The gutsy Bastion plays coming out. Is Balotaja going to go down immediately? 2 kills here for Envy. And oh my goodness, the Symmetra Orb taking out Taimu. They were not expecting that Symmetra Orb, and Reunited still has a chance to bring this back. Cruz does have Teleporter, but he's not going to be able to get it out as Internet Hulk just got in on him. And the Bastion perhaps a big enough distraction to make this a very quick cap indeed for Envy.
Yeah, I mean, it looked bad because Cruz was the one chunking him down, so that Teleporter was up, but Cruz died before he could drop that. No reinforcements coming in. The Bastion was enough.
My ultimate is
My
charging.
goodness, that is a very quick capture coming out from Envy. The payload will be moving, and Tailspin will have Dragon Blade up for this next phase. So Envy now in the driver's seat might be able to snowball this in a way that Reunited does not want to deal with.
Well, yeah, a little over 9.5 minutes left to finish out the map. That fight could not have gone better for him. The Bastion strat worked and enough that they got the first point. That's the first time I've ever seen people take that angle. I thought they'd try to set up on a platform here or there, just right through the door, just switch places with the defense. That's where you see a defensive Bastion. Worked out.
No, definitely, and right now, Envy with a lot of momentum, the defensive Reunited having to go back and set up, and Tailspin now with the Dragon Blade going to drop. It's aided by the sound barrier. This is an ideal situation for a Genji. Will he capitalize? Cruz going to get sliced down, and Balotaja going to end the slicing and dicing, gun-beating sword. Reunited not being that intimidated. The sound barrier attack, not as effective as Envy would have liked.
Hulk is all the way back. Just
Oh no, he almost had a super value Deadeye, but Coco says no. A big Earth Shatter coming in from the side of Envy, and just like that, the pressure is back on. The hammer being swung. Coco opening up Reunited.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hulk has just been cleaning up. He wrecked Too Easy in the back lines, but no one knew that he was still back there. Came back in and cleaned up the rest of the crew. Almost took down Cruz in there, too. Hulk's Winston is just a thing of beauty. As for being a solo Winston, I mean, in this era now where everyone's a solo Winston, but still, it's amazing what he's able to get done on that hero.
Hulk just gets more kills on Winston than most other comp players on that hero, and it's just a fact when we watch him in these games. I'm not sure what exactly he's doing, but he's just making better decisions, and as a result, capitalizing. Here comes Envy again. Envy clearly way ahead of the time that Reunited just said, but Balotaja now they're hitting this death choke, as it were, getting the double kill, moving forward, makes it a triple. Balotaja and Too Easy saying, no, you guys have to get through here as well, and we'll see if Envy has it in them to beat this time.
Yeah, Caster's Curse as we praise Internet Hulk as he dives in and dies. I want to see a push through the top that we did not see at all last game out of Reunited, which I thought would have helped them a great deal. But one of the best ways to clear top is to not send one of your flankers, just go through as a whole squad. And yes, you run the danger of maybe getting ulted on and hurt as a whole unit, but here we go. They're going to go right up the
Moving in, Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade on the way, Tailspin in the back. He wants to slice and dice, but again, Balotaja says no. That's the second time that he's been shut down in the same exact way. Balotaja not having any of Tailspin's business here. Tailspin will be res back up though, and pressure from Envy is still on as Balotaja facing a very angry Winston in his face. And the important thing here is Envy is still moving the cart. They've gotten it way further than Reunited did. At this point in the map, a big hammer comes down from Coco. Gonna take Winghaven for a ride. And Envy might be on their way to striking blood here in this series.
Yeah, Coco cleaning up. They've got 7 minutes to finish the map as they ride it home to victory. Too Easy calls GG from spawn. And it looks like Envy has woken up on a map that we generally give Reunited the advantage on. Envy looked like they had the top tier strategy, never slowed down there.
Oh, that was absolutely great. And yeah, this is usually Reunited's home field territory. It's rare to see Reunited lose on it. And Reunited had a very, very quick attack time going, and they just sort of got stalled out. Envy does not get stalled out. They even pull out a Bastion for the win here. So really good stuff coming out from the side of EnVyUs, and EnVyUs fighting as we're going to go on to another map.
Whew. Okay, so what's left in the pool?
What is left in the pool? We're
Nepal
gonna have to take
and Dorado.
Nepal is still in the pool. Yeah, Nepal and Dorado. So we might see another King of the Hill map yet. It's going to be up to Reunited. And after what happened on Ilios, I think Reunited might bring it to Nepal.
Yeah, they definitely look good on King of the Hill, and if we go back to the history of EnVyUs when they were IEDQD's main roster, it was their biggest weak point. Always was King of the Hill. The only maps they would ever lose, and they never lost sets ever during that time. The only maps they would ever lose were King of the Hill. Yeah, I want to go back on that Diva pick early on from Valataja. I think they know that EnVyUs likes to run a Torb, and Diva's so good against Torb, so good against turrets, and then it offers you that double initiation over the top.
It's happening. We are going to Nepal. Even though historically Reunited has not liked Nepal, that is exactly where we are going to go here on this next map.
Well, I mean, it's Reunited's pick. I guess Nepal you force EnVyUs to show that they're better at King of the Hill now, and their King of the Hill map of choice, where they're usually pretty good, was Lijiang. But we saw EnVyUs play pretty good on King of the Hill earlier today. Ilios excluded. I think we saw their earlier set. They did really, really well on Lijiang. So, yeah, I'm ready. Let's just do it. I like King of the Hill now.
No, King of the Hill is great, and I like this move, map pick-wise, coming out from Reunited. They had a really good showing on Ilios. Even though it was very, very close between both teams, it could have gone either way. They did have a little bit of an edge on Envy, and they did it with normal team comps, not like any sort of Ilios-specific, cheese comp or anything along those lines. It was just good, solid King of the Hill team compositions, which means that there's no reason for them to believe that they're going to do worse in Nepal than they did on Ilios for any inherent reasons.
No, not at all. So, I mean, you think EnVyUs can pull this out? You think this is Reunited? You're just going to enjoy the show?
I mean, I still think Reunited has the edge given that they have a bunch of maps left, but Reunited has been known to choke in the past, and I would feel absolutely terrible for Reunited if that happened, given that they've been working so long for a victory like this. To have it go down and get reverse swept would be just... I'd feel bad.
I would favor Reunited given the map and given the servers too. And now King of the Hill tends to be a little more DM-ish, a little more deathmatch, a little more who can track a little better and get those small mechanical edges. And playing with less than 100 ping is usually helpful in that regard.
No, absolutely, and we'll just have to see how things pan out here. Taking a look at the MB squad as they set up. It's going to be Tailspin on the Reaper, Chipsogen on the Mercy, Internet Hulk on Winston, Taimu on the McCree, Coco on Zarya, and Harry Cook, once formerly known as Naburjabup, on the Lucio. I'm just going to note one thing. I think you're absolutely right when it comes to Reaper skins. The bird Reaper skin, whatever it might be called, with like glowing eyes, it is the best Reaper skin.
Yeah, it's a Nevermore. It's the only legendary I've gotten so far. It is a mirror match coming out from the other side as well. So we're going to see just who plays each hero a little bit better. Now, we are one hero limits. So you're not going to see doubles of anything, but yeah, definitely a mirror going on here. I think we're going to see the giant Braveheart fight over the top. Nope.
Maybe not. Envy instead deciding, no, we're just going to get on the point right away. You guys can come to us. You can have your... Oh, no, I take it back. They go for the flank. Tailspin getting right in there, looking for his opportunity, but it's not going to work. The people that have the high ground win. Take it from Obi-Wan as Unfix gets the double kill, make it a triple. Reunited had the high ground, and they won that fight.
Yeah, I got a little too cute there, did EnVyUs. Now, they've done some really interesting stuff on a lot of maps, the last one included, as taking interesting angles, throwing your opponent off guard, but there is interesting and good, and then there's just interesting and why, because there is no reason to fight from that angle there, especially the other team sees it coming. You've given up first cap here, now you're in a rough spot.
I know, this is absolutely great for the side of Reunited. They definitely have an ult advantage now because of all the ult charge they got. And Unfix now moving to the back, has Lucio in his sights. Lucio has to run for his life as Valataja going to take out Taimu. Deadeye coming out, not getting a whole lot done. Oh my goodness, Chips going to get taken out by the fan. Voltaja making a double kill. And was very close to getting 4 if Internet Hulk didn't kill them right then and there.
Well,
but it won't matter.
Yeah, I think Internet Hulk's the only one with a kill this game on the side of EnVyUs. It is 1-12 in the kill count here. They're absolutely getting bodied.
Yeah, this has been completely one-sided in favor of Reunited here thus far. Did not expect it to come out like this. We'll just see how things go moving forward. You have the Deadeye now coming out from Taimu, Envy making another approach. They don't have a whole lot in the way of ultimates out. Deadeye was about it. Taimu did almost get picked there, but there's the Graviton coming out from Reunited. Will they have the follow-up? Moving in, Voltaja takes out Internet Hulk. Too easy on the Coco. Chips does not have a resurrection to bring up those fallen heroes, and that could be a huge deal. He almost has enough. Will he get there in time before they respawn? Might not even matter, as Soundbear is now out. Taimu with the double kill makes it a triple. The Bash Brothers of Tailspin and Taimu going off. Who needs a resurrection anyways?
Unfix and Too Easy are looking to contest this. They can generally as those two. Too Easy's now just looking to get some charge in, and he doesn't want to stay alive. He doesn't want to stagger that death any more than it needs to be, so he suicides his life in there. They flip it over. It goes very fast, but already at 85% for Reunited. Envy now in a decent spot, though. They look like they actually brought it back and off the back of their DPS.
Yeah, and Reunited, this is just... We'll see if they can get back on this, but overall, we did see Envy come back with a decent push. Right here comes Reunited coming in from the left side, deciding not to go for the high ground. They're moving in, and Taimu says step right up, gets a double kill here with the Deadeye, makes it a triple. And Taimu now suddenly coming alive in this matchup as Envy starting to get into the driver's seat.
Yeah, that triple was actually on Voltaja, who was in the midst of his own high noon. He killed 2. Voltaja came around the corner with his head glowing because it's high noon, and then he just got stunned out, fanned down. So that third pick was absolutely crucial as Voltaja was looking to equalize that fight.
Oh, absolutely. And now, defense-wise, this feels like just a rehash of things we've been seeing over and over again between these two getting held. Graviton Surge, gonna kill it from Coco. He's pulled in everyone! Will the follow-up be there? 2 kills here for the defensive Envy, but Reunited somehow recovering off of that beginning. Usually that is a death moment if that many people get stuck in a whirling vortex of death, but somehow they're moving forward. Voltaja takes out the Zarya. And Reunited has somehow turned this in their favor. They've recapped the point, and they're one team fight away from taking round 1 away from EnVyUs.
Beautiful. Graviton just not enough damage follow-up. The Winston tried to cleave it. It just never got everyone low enough, and
there's the Graviton coming out from Reunited. They're moving in and over it. Going to get 2 kills right away. Tailspin with the Death Blossom. Doesn't get as much done as he would like, but ends up with a double kill anyways before going down. A little bit of a brawl here on the fight. Morte going to go down as Envy fighting for their lives at 99%. Trying to stay on there. Unfixed versus both the Zarya and Lucia. I think he needs to just back out. This should be retaken by Envy, but for how long, Hex?
Not very long. Harry Hook is going to Sound Barrier just himself to stay alive on the point, to buy some time for his team to come back in and reinforce. Maybe not the best value out of the Sound Barrier, but it had to be done.
And coming out from Taimu. Envy fighting, trying to stay in this. Taimu looking for anything he can get here. Will get Too Easy, but the resurrection coming in, going to bring up all those fallen heroes, including Too Easy. Voltaja going to go down as soon as he's res. Death Blossom now coming out from Unfixed. Will take out Tailspin. And this is all sorts of intense here on the fight.
As long as Chip stays alive, he's going to be fine. He got pressured out, had to use the resurrection early.
This is rough. Reunited definitely starting to turn this into favor, but Internet Hulk not giving up just yet. Coco on top of the point does have Graviton and a lot of charge to melt people's faces right off. Graviton hits. Tailspin with the follow-up. A triple kill for Envy as they retake the point. And this is as close as you get on King of the Hill, Hex.
Oh, this is so back and forth. I mean, just really clutch plays coming out from all sides. They understood that if Chip stayed alive any longer, that they were just going to bleed out players and he was going to resurrect them. So they finally dove on him, forced him to use a res early, almost flipped it back in their favor. Then it just turned into a brawl that Hulk was able to clean up.
There's a Sound Barrier now coming out from EnVyUs. EnVyUs using the opportunity to get right in onto Reunited. Reunited not falling here just yet. They have to be careful. Tailspin in the back. Killed Voltaja, looking for more. Unfixed going to take him out. Graviton Surge out for Reunited. 4 kills for Reunited. And they're going to fully wipe out Envy here. And I'm not sure if Internet Hulk is going to be able to get here and delay. It's not going to matter, as Reunited has taken round 1, and they are 1 round away from winning it all.
It looked so good for them early on as Morte was the first casualty in that fight. You figured that REUNITED's going to be in a bad spot after, but no one really died after. They were able to get that Graviton, clean it up, and just won the battle, even though they lost the initial fight with Morte dying.
Forward to working with you.
That was intense. All right, let's do it again.
So now REUNITED truly on match point as they move forward. REUNITED has to be feeling it. They might be even feeling a little bit of nerves here, but if they're able to win this out, this will be their first weekly win in a very long time.
And against EnVyUs too. I mean, you can't just even... the level of competition could not be higher. This is what REUNITED really needs. All right. Both Reapers down.
Envy hanging in there. Envy fighting back. They do have the kill advantage here. Internet Hulk finding his moments. Might be leaping onto this Lucio here in a second. And Envy gonna take first control at this point.
Yeah, a nice chase there by Tamu with the N2. They're chasing even more. They took down Cruz. They want to stagger more deaths if at all possible. Take down Morte late too. Those are hugely staggered deaths. That's rough. Both supports are going to be coming up way late.
And as a result, what we see here is that Envy is going to take first control at this point, and they just need to hang on to it for dear life. You don't want to let Envy back into this game at all. Any lost team fight here is a huge deal, and for REUNITED, you got to think that they want to take this back right here, right now. And here they go, Winghaven leaping in with the Zarya shield, but Internet Hulk going to take out Voltaja immediately here in this fight. Tailspin bobbing and weaving around, will be getting healed up, looking for his opportunity here as Reaper laying in the damage. Resurrection coming up from REUNITED, but here's the sound barrier, and Envy can be super aggressive off of this, and Death Blossom on the menu. Here comes Tail, makes the triple kill in a flash.
Yeah, part of that triple kill, both supports going down yet again, and now Too Easy dies a little bit late, and staggered deaths are just going to slow down these next pushes, so much so that they're just going to poke forward. Yeah, I think they think better of that, because they don't want Taimu dying before this fight even starts.
I'm feeling angry.
So big plays coming out from Tailspin there. And this has been looking pretty darn good for the side of Envy in this round. They need to hold for 35%, but we've seen bigger comebacks here in King of the Hill. Here they come. Soundberry out here for the offense, giving them the initiative. Defense needs to back out off. They need to rope and dope it a little bit. And Taimu now going to be moving in, looking for a Deadeye. We'll see if he gets him, but Unfixed with a big Death Blossom, going to take out two people. But the Resurrection can bring up everyone he killed. Chipsogen on point as Envy now looking to turn the tables.
Yeah, it was a nice grab into Reaper cleanup, but the Resurrection was great. Chips stays alive even though he got knocked off the cliff. Chips again being very elusive. Here comes the counter grab.
The counter grab is up. It pulls in three people, and they get knocked right down. Coco finding his opportunity, well worthwhile. And now with 3% left, we are going to be going to round number 3. REUNITED will have one more shot here in this map to knock out REUNITED. We'll see if they can take it, but regardless... Now, Envy with a chance to even up the series 2-2.
Reaper and Zarya synergize so well together. I mean, especially on King of the Hills. Those Gravitons, a Reaper can clean up by himself. That gives him the Death Blossom. He can do so safely because of that Zarya shield. They are just best buds, and I could not be happier about it.
I taught you
Absolutely. And neither team really looking for any change up here. They're going to be going with the comps that they've been running pretty much since the beginning here on King of the Hill. We'll see what comes of it here as we enter the Sanctum phase on Nepal.
Well, Lucios are going to be trying to get their boop on here as people will fall to their deaths. Mercies and Winstons must beware as well, trying to get those leaps and knocks off. This is a fun map to watch.
Now, this is very fun. This is where Winston can have way more kill ability than you might even imagine. Primal Rage, so good at knocking people into the cliff or into the pit. Same deal with Lucio. Boops. Very scary. And here we go. REUNITED not wasting any time, leaping into Envy, but this can be dangerous. Usually the counter engage can be stronger from time to time. Tailspin, though, will bite it first. We'll see if Envy can withstand this onslaught coming in from REUNITED.
Yeah, and in these fights, I mean, losing your one Reaper early on is enough to really prompt the Resurrection, actually.
Yeah, and Cruz ends up getting knocked into the pit. He ends up dying as a result. Rez coming up, but that Rez won't bring Cruz back up because he was knocked into the pit.
That's one thing that people sometimes overlook, is that knocking people into the pit is a permanent death. There is no resurrection available. You cannot bring bodies back from the depths.
This has been an absolute brawl. Both teams bloodying each other, but REUNITED now starting to take the initiative. They capture the point. They're establishing. They're moving forward, and Envy now has to find a way to take this back.
Whew. All right, yeah, I mean, they grabbed that first fight. Too Easy did some nice work early on, taking down Tailspin early, so much so they had to burn that Resurrection, kind of open it up for Reunited to take control of this first point.
All right, so Unfix right now hanging on to the Death Blossom, looking for his opportunity. Has to back out. His speed boost and sound barriers out. There's the Death Blossom right into a huge clump of them, taking out 2, then including the Mercy. There will be no res. Unfix is going to go down, but I think a lot of damage has been done. Meanwhile, though, for the EnVy side, we did have a sound barrier up. Tailspin goes down before getting a Death Blossom of his own. And in the end, even though this is super bloody, Reunited hanging in there.
Yeah, the counter ults. Cruz kills Harry Hook on the point. Some Lucio on Lucio violence there. It's, yeah, they just... I don't know. I had something and I'm just lost in the chaos here. It's 60% though, so if EnVy is going to do anything, they have to do it pretty much in this next fight. They do have Tailspin with his Death Blossom up, but so far not the value off, and a big zoning ult coming in as well.
The Graviton is coming up. The Deadeye follow-up is not there. EnVy in a whole lot of trouble. The Winston coming out from Winghaven, getting all sorts of cleave power in. Right now, though, EnVy able to withstand it. Tailspin was looking for the Death Blossom, was not able to get it, but oh my god, he got resurrected into the middle of all of them. Will the Death Blossom be coming out? It will, but he gets taken out immediately by Valotaja. And this is huge for Reunited. They are so close to winning this round and winning the series, winning the tournament. But it's not going to happen here as EnVy able to turn the tide of battle in their favor at the last moment.
Hulk gets a little greedy, dies jumping on Valotaja, but they do kill Valotaja late, which is a staggered death that they did not want to have to deal with. Coco's going to have Graviton up here next. Really, for a while, it's only been Hulk getting kills. They need Tailspin to start actually kind of stepping it up a little bit. Coco's been doing a little bit of work. Earlier Gravitons have not had the follow-up. We'll see if they can successfully complete some sort of combination here.
Coco does have that Graviton Surge at the ready. He's going to need to land a good one here. EnVy has to buy themselves a lot of time. If they lose one more team fight here, it might very well mean the tournament. Deadeye coming out from the side of Reunited. They want to end this right here, right now, but there's a Graviton. 4 people getting the group hug treatment, but the Winston Shield going to help them survive the worst of it, and Reunited still in this fight. A good response. Here comes the counter sound barrier, and can Reunited turn this in their favor? Let's take a look at Unfix. Unfix does have a Death Blossom at the ready. A little bit wounded here as Valotaja and Too Easy gonna get a pick each. A beautiful response though by Reunited, and that is it. They are going to win. They take control of the point, and they are your grand champions here in the GosuGamers EU Weekly. Couldn't be happier for Reunited right now. Finally getting over the hump and getting a tournament victory under their belt.
Yeah, and beating a top team like EnVyUs too. They just outperformed on King of the Hill at individual levels here. Unfixed had a great game on Reaper. He got more value out of his Death Blossoms than Tailspin. And I think with King of the Hill as it is now, the Reaper battle is going to be absolutely clutch. And also the Gravitons were just a little better and a little better followed up. So Zarya and Reaper are the new faces of King of the Hill here. Of course, Winston still very much in that mix. Tailspin, you know, just had a kind of a rough game despite that card there, especially at the end when they needed it most. Congrats to Reunited. I could not be happier for them. I'm sure even EnVyUs somewhere deep down feels kind of happy for Reunited. They're old, battle-tested veterans, have gone against each other for months. They know each other very well. It's, yeah, as you mentioned, I'm happy for Reunited. GG's to EnVyUs as well.
No, absolutely. It was really good for them, and congratulations to Reunited. We're going to try and get them on for winner's interview here in just a moment. They might not want to do it, but I think they probably will, especially with their history in the past, getting over the hump. Definitely want to see if we can get Too Easy on the line if possible. So we are going to take a short break, go to the winner's interview if they're available. But this has been the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly EU Cup. That was the grand finals. Winner's interview coming right at you. Hopefully some members of Reunited. Stay tuned.